Hey, good morning. We fist bump during flu season, so we don't trade germs. All right, perfect. You good? All right. Hey, good morning. Turn off my music. Who do we got going on? Well, Guns N' Roses. Little Guns N' Roses. There you go. Oh, I go in the wrong direction. I'm going to make you bleed. The stuff we listen to. But I also listen to Handel. Right? I'm very diverse. Yeah, see? I can go all over the place. You know, it's a perfect thing. So. Hey, good morning. How's everybody?
Good morning.
Happy Do Year, not Happy New Year, right? We don't say Happy New Year around, we say Happy Do Year, because we don't talk, right? Talk is cheap. Let's give all the things out, right? Everybody, what's today? Today, we told the group yesterday, right? Who was at the little grow session yesterday we had? We said, hey, look, it's already the 7th of January. Good news is that the treadmills are open again. All right? Because it's only during the first week at the gym that the treadmills are busy because everybody's hit their resolution. And certainly by January 8th, wide open. No fear, all right? There's all the treadmills you want available because everybody's resolutions are, because they're all saying Happy New Year and they're not doing, right? So that's what we're going to do, is we are going to focus on every year's Happy New Year for us around here because, again, talk is cheap. We don't just talk, we do, right? So I'm going to cover a couple things real quick, then we're going to go through our vendor row over there. It's like the gauntlet. Look at you guys over there, our vendors. All right, exactly. Look at these. We're ready to prey on you agents, all right? You guys go get deals so we can exist. I'm just kidding, you guys. All right, okay? All right, just relax, all right? But don't ever forget who butters their bread, all right? It's that who starts the thing and process, all right? Don't you ever forget who butters your bread. I'm just teasing you. Synchronicity, I know, we all work, synergistic relationship. I get it. Cool, all right. Couple things I want to hit on. If you have not checked out our FHR calendar, we've got a lot going on. I sent out the email that announced for our meetings, and with that, we've added some things for this year. We're going to try it for the first month to see how well it's attended. May take a while for things to catch on, but a couple things I want to hit on. Every Monday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I have virtual office hours, right? So meaning, you know, sometimes you get a company our size and we're kind of spread out, but you can always get a hold of Jim or I, right? And we have what we call our half-day rule in place where you will never wait longer than a half day for a return call for either one of us, right? But if you want to know a designated time that I will be there available no matter where I am in the world, it's the beauty of technology. I can be there on Zoom. It's a Zoom session. The links for each of those will always be on the calendar, all right, the FHR calendar. So if you go to the FHR calendar, hit the link, that'll give you the Zoom session link, and you can join in. You can come in for 3 minutes and say, hey, just got a quick question, or I saw something on a training, or I was just getting ready to write an offer and I had this. It's office hours, right? There's no predetermined schedule or agenda, just here to answer your questions and be available, all right? So it's 1 to 2 every Monday and Friday, Eastern Time. All right, I have to remind myself because I'm not always in Eastern Time, so I have to remind that's always Eastern Time. It won't be 1 to 2. In addition, we have some grow sessions that we've started. We used to call them lunch and learns, and the problem with the lunch and learns, you guys came looking for lunch. All right, and so I meant it was a brown bag, bring your own lunch and learn, but that was too much to fit on the calendar. So we decided to just change them to grow sessions and get them out of either breakfast or lunchtime. All right, so you guys don't come hungry, even though you might come hungry. You should come hungry, all right, because that's okay. That being said, a little different variation. We're wandering around, will you being me. Mondays is when we're going to do them in the Tampa Bay market. So yesterday we had one at West Chase. Next week Next Monday, I think I'll be in Seminole. After that, I'll be in Newport Richey or Wesley Chapel. I can't remember, flip-flop the next 2 Mondays after that. I wanted to give you guys Mondays. Monday's a great time because it's a good time to start. The group that was there yesterday, I was going to encourage them because on the Mondays that I'm not there, right, they can still come back and meet and create a mastermind group. We've talked about this a lot at Future Home, that as we continue to grow, which we're going to talk about our numbers for 2018, they're in and they're good, all right? But as we continue to grow, the hard part about being big is that sometimes it's hard to feel small. All right, well, that, you know what I mean? And churches have had this issue forever, right? That as they grow, they can do some really cool things because they have resources and people and money and all that kind of stuff to do some different things, but they lose the intimacy of being small, right? So they do small groups, right? Or life groups or whatever they call them so that you can get to know 10 or 12 people on a more intimate level. Know each other's middle names, know each other's Social Security, no, just kidding. Know each other a little more in-depthly, right, than you can in a field of 13 to 1,400, right? So with that in mind, I'm going to encourage you to continue if you crave that. Now, some people say, hey, look, leave me alone. I'm doing my business. All right, I'm done, right? Get it? I was there as an agent, said, hey, look, stay out of my way, all right, and I got things to do. Others, though, we crave that knowledge and feedback, and let's bounce ideas off each other, the accountability, all things we talked about at the Grow session yesterday. So we're going to have those. I'm going to encourage you to continually seek that out, and we're going to continually try and provide opportunities for you, enhance that, all right? So those Grow sessions are there. In addition to that, every month we'll have a contract class specific. Now, we have a contract class on FHR University already. All right, so it's there, and it goes section by section, so you can, in 8-minute bursts, catch a section of a contract, all right, which is really good. Sometimes you're in a pinch. Oh my gosh, the financing, you know what I mean? You can go in and just watch the financing section on FHR University. However, once a month, Jim teaches, usually the Wednesday, is that correct, Jim?
For which one?
Contract?
Tuesday.
Okay, the last Tuesday of the month on general, it's on our calendar, okay, give or take, but generally the last Tuesday of the month, Jim teaches a 3.5 hour, okay, contract class at the West Chase office, just pouring through that thing. Digging through. Jim hears a lot of issues that pop up. He brings those into his training. It's a great class to go to if you need a refresher on that, all right? So that's always there. I'm going to be doing the same thing. I think it's on the calendar now for the 24th in Orlando. And then we have Kevin. I don't know if you guys haven't met Kevin, but Kevin runs our Jacksonville office. He'll be doing the same. They have a different contract up there anyway, so he's going to teach that as well. So we're constantly looking to provide opportunities for you. In addition to that, I wanted to remind you about FHR University. I posted on 100K and our Just Us Agents Facebook page last night that I put the statistics up there from 2018, and there's a link on here where you can go find them. And a lot of people are like, well, what's FHR University? All right, it's been around a while, okay? And FHR University is where we house like the archives of these meetings. All of our 100K sessions that have been recorded are there. All the contract class, like we talked about, business building things, how to incorporate. A ton of, probably got 60 or 70 classes that are housed in there, that every time we teach something, we record it and we put it up there, all right? If you don't have your login information, Jim's about to tell us how to remind ourselves of how we get that.
This one?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Mara knows that.
Okay, Mara knows that.
Well, right there. See the bottom?
Oh.
I don't know why that's not obvious.
Wait, the forgot password?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the, okay, forgot your password, click on the forgot password button, all right? All right, good deal. Okay, click there, and whoever, the cloud will get you there. But while we're there, all right, let's take a minute. I want to show you, what's my password, Jim? I'm just teasing. All right, so when you get here, this is as clean as you're going to get, all right? It's not fancy. We weren't looking for fancy. We wanted it for easily navigable, okay? Easy to get around, okay? And when you're in here, all sorts of stuff is there. All right, we've got any like special messages come out. Sometimes like I had something, we had that last housekeeping email, you know, a little video from me. Here's 100K Club stuff, business basics, personal growth, getting deals done, contract and addenda. By the way, one thing that we'll be looking at on contract and addenda, we don't have it there yet, and Jim's going to talk about this in his contract class and also in his Jumpstart class where he goes over form simplicity in particular, is that we're going to create a library of clauses, right? That, I don't know, Jim showed me this just yesterday. Did you know in Form Simplicity in particular, we don't know if it's transaction desk, but we'll check that, we think as well. But in addition to forms, they have clauses there that you can just have, and you have this like a library, a Word doc, that you can cut and paste and insert this clause, like if you're always asking for buyer's contribution to seller contribution to buyer's closing costs, right? You can have that clause already pre-printed, ready to go, drop it in, change the amount, boom, you're in, okay? Something like a repair addendum. We get this a lot, right? So, a lot of people say, like Jim said the other day, he got somebody said, oh yeah, the repair addendum, we all agreed that these will be repaired. Buyer and seller agree that these items will be repaired. Okay, by whom, by when, for how much, up to what amount, by a licensed contractor or by the guy's brother-in-law? Okay, does this buyer have a right to re-inspect these repairs prior to close? All these things are important. We're going to create that so that you can have a repair addendum to drop into a blank addendum and so on and so forth. So you can have those clauses. We're going to put them in. We're looking to see, because we have brokerage-wide access to Form Simplicity, right? So it means if you're with Future Home Realty, if there's something that we can give our A-OK on a broker-wide level, then you would have access to that. We're going to 100% confirm that that's the case, right, Jim?
Yes.
Exactly. All right. Perfect. All that being said, here we are. So here's the newest tab we just added, the market info and statistics, right? If I click on that, I'm going to show you this monthly market detail first. I'm not going to go through this in-depthly, but I get something from Florida Realtors on a monthly basis, which is really good information. It's good information for you to know. It's good information for you to have to refute all the people who say, oh, things are slowing down. Well, let's take a look. Year over year, November, and when you say year over year, that means comparing November of 2018 to November of 2017, right? And that's the most recent data that's there. The reason you want to compare November's year over year is because there is some seasonality in our business, right? We have less seasonality here in Florida than you would if you were selling in Chicago, but there is still seasonality here. And so with that in mind, they like to compare things. And by the way, if you open this up, this is done by Florida Realtor's chief economist, right, who compiles this data. He has some really good economics or the economist's notes in there, like explaining why median income or median sale price is better than average sale price, right? And discussing why they like to look at those numbers. So it kind of helps educate you a little bit so that therefore you can educate your clientele on what is occurring. The cool thing is this is like 20 or 30 pages long. It breaks it down by region, right? It'll break it down by price point. It talks about cash sales versus finance sales and why is that important. Again, the economist note will tell you that the cash sales are important as a good indicator of, not always, but a better indicator of when investors are in the market. Right? And so if we're seeing a declining amount of cash sales, that means we could have fewer investors in the market at that given time compared to year over year. So it's good because we are real estate professionals. Yes? Remind me. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. All right. And we should know this stuff, right? Okay. And the clients are relying on us to have some level of access to this information, right? I'm going to encourage you, I'll make the announcement when they go up, but just go in there once a month. Like I said, we have November's now. It takes a while for them to compile stuff, so we have November of 18. Sandra.
I just wanted to point out, I'm sure everybody knows that we get that every month or...
Yeah, it's on Florida Realtors. If you're paying attention, they get it to everybody. It's available. It's on Florida Realtors' site as well, right? So if you're not digging in there, I just wanted to make sure, and thank you very much. It's there and available to you, but a lot of times we ignore it, all right? Okay? Now, next thing, if I go back, I just have to close that out, is production reports. I just put up our production reports, all right? So we have FHR 2018 agent production, all regions. I combined all our regions. This is from a software that I subscribe to called Broker Metrics, so it's pulling from the MLS. If you want to pull that up, Mara has made a PDF of it, I believe, all right? And it'll show us where these are company-wide rankings, and you can see where you are within the company based upon the volume pulled from MLS. That's from January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. All right? Sales that are there, so you can take a look at it there. Once again, awesome, awesome job, all right? Some of you are many of you are killing it, all right? And that's a great thing. So you can use this, you say, hey, here's where I rank in my company of over 1,300 agents, boom, you know what I mean? I am the number, right? Whatever you want to do, use it to your advantage. It breaks out list sides, list volume, sell sides, sell volume, total sides, total volume, all right? And it'll break it down even further, so you can take a look at that. And last thing, office market share, all right? This is from the My Florida Regional MLS, all right? This is the one thing, if I combine all of our offices, including, because we got 3 offices that we merge into in Tampa Bay, all right? This is showing only the West Chase office, that's the number 3 up there, all right? If we combined our other offices, we would be number 2, but unfortunately, they don't let us manipulate those numbers that way. So we are there. Here's the reality, though. You can write this number down because it's not, if I combine all our offices, $1.4 billion in sales. All right? 1.4, that's up from 1.25 last year. 1.4 billion in sales, Future Home Realty, over 6,010 transactions. All right, 6,010 transactions, 1.4 billion in sales. But that's data you can use, and people say, well, I don't know, I'm thinking about going with a bigger company. Bigger than us? Yeah. Let me show you a report here. Who are you going with? Oh, I was thinking about Caldwell Banker. Which one? Oh, that Caldwell Banker right there, number 13? Or are you going with us, number 3? I'm not sure what you meant by bigger. Help me out there. All right, okay? So you can kind of go through. Questions on that? That way at least you know where to find it. Cool? All right? Market report, know your stuff. And dig into FHR University. I want to encourage you to continue to do that. By the way, you can back into FHR University. You can go to FHRUniversity.com. It's also available if you go to FutureHomeRealty.com and you're logged in as an agent. And through the back door, their calendar's there. Also, there's a link to FHR University, which again, you'll have to re-sign in again. It's a different sign-in authentication. Cool? Good deal? All right, perfect. Let's see. Let's go through our vendors so we can keep things rolling. So, Jerry, how are you, man? I'm staying way away. You were sick last night, so what's going on? Okay, yeah, that's what they all say.
And I'm not contagious.
That's yeah, famous last words, exactly. All right.
You're eating into my time.
Yeah, exactly.
Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Don't forget who butters your bread.
And Happy New Year to all
Happy New
you
Year.
future home real estate professionals. My name is Jerry Papa. I'm the broker owner of Gulfview Realty Property Management, located in and not near Future Home Realty's West Chase office. We are celebrating our 12th year in business. We provide services throughout Tampa Bay. We provide a professional lease as well as property management service. We provide real estate referral fees, and we promise to never steal your customer. But for most of you, you know what we do and how we do it, and how we service the Tampa Bay area, and how our number 1 customer, again, for 2018 was Future Home Realty.
That's right.
And we appreciate all those referrals, and we hope that in 2019 we can continue to serve you. If you want any information about our company, we have rack cards. You can also stop and see me at the office. Today I want to mention something that Bob is involved in that is going to be coming our way next month. And it's very near and dear to the heart of all citizens, all people that live in the United States of America. Never before, when I was growing up, did I have to worry about the potential of an active shooter. So next month, with Bob's blessing, we have the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department coming here for the sales meeting, and they are going to do a presentation on an active shooter program. What do you do if you're out and about, whether you're in a mall, whether you're in an office, whether you're at church? What do you do if someone appears with a pistol or, God forbid, an automatic weapon? So please, please, please come to this session next month and tell all your fellow real estate professionals to please come also, because you're going to learn a lot. This is a great program that they put on, and we're really proud to be able to get them for the second month of the new year.
That's awesome. And Jerry, thanks to Jerry, because Jerry's wife had her work,
Yes.
right, and recommended and got this set up for us. It's critical. You know, to Jerry's point, it's almost sad that we have to think about things like this, but quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, when I go to church now, I think about where I sit. I do. I sit near an exit. I want to have egress out, right? And I choose, why are you sitting way in the back? Well, that's where the door is. All right? And I have a plan. I mean, seriously, it's stuff you have to think about. My kids, they now do virtual school, but even with so, in their backpack for years, they have a Kevlar insert in their backpack. All right? That they know that when they were at school, that something's going down, you huddle behind that backpack. All right? It could stop a pretty high ballistic at a very short range. All right? If your kids are in school, you might check them out. They're available. All right? Thanks. We'll talk to John about it later because John's our capping agent who's going to teach us, but he's also was 25 years on Clearwater Police Force. All right? So we're excited about bringing that in. We want to help you always. Again, I'm not here to scare anybody. I just want you to, you know what? When I carry my umbrella, it never rains. All right? When I'm prepared for such situations, it seems those situations never occur. Right? It's the ones who are unaware and then aren't prepared to do it. So thank you for doing that.
You can never be too prepared with this either, because David and I were just talking before the meeting, and while I'm older than many of the people in this room, I never thought once in my life when I was growing up as a child, or even as a young adult, what do I do if somebody appears with a gun? That wasn't in our mentality. But today, it's not only important to each and every one of you as adults, but to your children as well. And God forbid that this happens, and we hope that it never happens again, but you got to be aware, and these guys are professional, and they're going to bring to the light to your mind what you need to do if, God forbid, that situation ever arises. The last thing I want to mention is Golfy Realty Property Management in 2018 chose to revamp and to go to a different software back end. We have now completed the last 60 days of conversion, and I have to tell you, I would never wish this on anybody. Conversion of your software system is like unbelievable. We have spent so much time on this conversion of data, you name it, that we're just about complete with it. But the end result is, by going with a company called Appfolio, we are going to be much more robust in our data and much more accessible, much more user-friendly, and quite honestly, it provides us with a realm that we didn't have with our previous software company. And for any of you that have ever dealt with software, which I would think everybody in this room does, when you make a conversion to a major software change, the first thing that comes to your mind is, I can't wait till this is over. I can't wait till this is over. And we're almost over, but we're still gonna have some bumps in the road. But what it means to everyone in this room is it brings to the table a much more robust system that helps each and every one of you, as well as your referral clients who may live in different parts of the world. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it. All right. Exchange us.
Yes.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm Janet Shum. I'm with Older Public Exchange Company. We're a nationwide qualified intermediary for 1031 tax-deferred exchanges. So if you're looking for a way to be more profitable in 2019, 1031 exchanges are the way to go.
Absolutely.
Do you agree?
Okay. I would 100% agree, because if you can, are you avoiding taxes or deferring them?
Deferring.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right. Good deal.
And I'm on
All right.
LinkedIn, so if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, I'm always posting information.
That's all right. Okay. And why would you defer taxes? Because you defer taxes until you have a lower tax base, right? And you can schedule things out. All right. Again, you're in control. It's called a life strategized. All right. You haven't seen that? Go check out yesterday's Monday Motivation about living a life strategized. We got any other vendors? How are you?
We belong to you.
Well, you belong to us. So see, I love that when ladies say that to me. Exactly. All right. All right. Perfect. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm Karina.
You're Brian Heckman's.
I am,
Very
yes,
good.
I'm
Awesome.
with
You got to get
Heckman
out of here almost. We got 5 minutes left. Brian told me.
I know.
All right.
But I wanted to come by, introduce myself. I work with Brian Heckman at Heckman Mortgage. We are a stone throw away from you guys. So I'm sure I actually recognize a few of you that I've already seen in our office. So we have a lot of exciting first-time home buyer programs and new self-employed borrower programs coming into 2019 that we're excited about. So we would love to help out, any of you that are looking for a family local mortgage company right over there.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's great to see everybody.
South
It's my
Africa or
first time
Australia?
here. South Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
You're right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to say mate, but I won't pull that back. All right. I'll pull that one back.
Be the
all right?
first time.
All right. Awesome. Good deal. All right. And if you guys know Brian Heckman, Brian does a great job with Heckman Mortgage Group. Fantastic giver of knowledge, right? Continues to just pour in, believes like we do that when you give, you get, right? And that the more they can help you enhance your business, then that's just, they're helping you make butter. so that you can butter their bread. All right, exactly. That's perfect. Awesome. All right, we're good. How are you?
Good.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, good deal.
Hi there, I'm Colleen Bebel with Equity National Title. Many of you I've met in December's meeting with Sarah Hash. She moved on. She's on to bigger and better things, and so proud of her.
Yeah.
And so I'm here for you now to handle all your title needs. We do everything, and I want to know who has their ticket for Social Media Mastermind in February.
That's coming up, right? When is that?
Coming up, it's going to be fabulous. February 13th, we moved the location to Ruth Eckerd Hall.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it's going to be beautiful. We have a great event planned, some epic speakers. You don't want to miss it. I can email flyers out to you. So if you want one of my cards, come see me and I'll get all the information to you. And I am also still doing Coffee with Counsel the third Thursday of the month at Lucky Dill on 19, 9 o'clock a.m.
And that's with.
Come see us.
Their title company is owned by Michael Guju, who is an attorney as well. So, and I didn't skip David on purpose. We're coming back to David because David's there. So the 13th is your next.
The 17th.
17th is your
Yep.
next Coffee with Counsel.
Correct.
Awesome. Perfect.
All right.
All right. Good deal. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello,
Who's speaking,
everyone.
guys?
We're a dynamic duo, so let's
Okay. Perfect. All right. All right. Tag team this. All right.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm Lenny, this is Don. We're with Rock Solid Home Inspections, the home inspection company that is always looking for ways for you to get more business so we can give you butter to butter our bread.
Right. So a couple of things that we are doing that are really making a major impact in your world is that we are opening a pest control division
Nice.
Yes,
at the
say
end
finally.
of finally. And so we'll be able to get your WDO the same time we do your home inspection. So I know that's been asked. So that's the most exciting piece of the puzzle we have. As
Well,
of
I
this
have a
date.
huge announcement on
Or
that
this
as well. February 1st, not only does pest control kick off, but you can start advertising it now with your inspections. The initial service of pest control is free with every home inspection when they sign a one-year contract. So the normal $150 to get it started is absolutely free. The first service is free, and then every 3 months thereafter, it's only $99. So they get pest control for $297 for the year. So it's a fantastic deal. And then on the WDOs, when we start that February 1st, we'll be the only company in the area that offers a free 90-day warranty against termite and carpenter ants after the WDO inspection without any treatment,
Regardless of treatment.
regardless of
Nice.
treatment.
Very good. That's
It
cool.
just has to be done with an inspection and the WDO.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Perfect.
Looking
Good deal.
forward to it.
Information's out there?
Got it.
All right. Perfect. And when we come back, Jenny's going to speak to us here in a bit anyway, right? All right. Awesome. Good deal. All right, David, you ready?
I am.
All right. So, David Rankin, our resident, I introduced him to John Brown here the other day as our attorney du jour, which is he's really our attorney du every year. How you say year in French? All right, because you're always here, and that's a good thing. We appreciate his willingness to come. All right, and how about if we go 7 minutes?
All right.
Got it?
You ready?
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, you hold.
You want to hold that?
You hold it.
All right.
You hold it. I've got to get a cup of coffee.
Okay, you're going to take a rest. Okay, whenever you see me, or, thoughts of whatever, a week or so from now, or what did that guy say, I want you to make sure cyber fraud. All right, I've said it a number of times, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but the quickest way to have heartbreak in your life and the life of your buyer and seller to some extent is to have them be a victim of cyber fraud. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail today, but number one, cardinal rule, you do not ever become involved in transmitting wiring instructions. Absolutely not, all right? And then spend at least 10 minutes educating your clients about what is cyber fraud and how do they avoid being a victim of cyber fraud. And always during those discussions, talk about verbal verify. Have them absolutely promise that they will not transfer any money until they have verbally verified the wiring instructions with the either title company or law office to which they are sending that money, all right? Otherwise, you get a call like this where, hey, great talking to you. Say I'm the part of the realtor talking to your buyer and you're chit-chatting and they say, well, we did send that money. You say, what are you talking about? Well, we got an email from you and it said, here are the wiring instructions, go ahead and send your $50,000 or whatever, and we sent it. And then you would then to yourself say, oh, and I would be, as an attorney, I would be blaming the realtor, whoever the realtor was that was representing that individual, because obviously that person was not warned was not instructed, and was not told how to avoid being the victim of cyber fraud. All right? So, next thing, HOA disclosure. About 7 or 8 years ago, there was a statute that came out, and everybody was an authority on the statute. Since then, nobody's talked about that statute, and because of that, people have gotten into this rote system. You know, I print off the package to have buyer and seller sign, and if it's there, then it's there. If it's not, I don't notice. I just have this rote process where if the document is there, the contract and the addenda, I get it signed. There's one document that will just ruin your day, and if you're representing a seller, this will absolutely ruin your day and your seller's day, and that is the HOA disclosure. You look at it and you think that, well, that's useful information. I need to get that done. But there is a special statute, and I think I've spoken about this maybe 1 or 2 times many months ago, but it bears reminding that if you're a seller's agent and you fail to have the HOA disclosure form provided to, that information provided in writing to the buyer, then up until the day of closing, and there's a statute, I'm not just making this up, but there's a specific statute that says up until the day of closing that the buyer can, number one, terminate the contract. Can terminate the contract. They don't have to justify anything. All they got to do is say, I didn't get the HOA disclosure form. And number two, to add insult to injury, they get their deposit back. All right. Well, how in the world does this happen? Well, at 7, 8 years ago, it was a hue and cry among elderly people, bought property, they're on fixed incomes. They would close, and a couple weeks or a month or 1 quarter later, they get a bill. And they say, well, what's this? HOA dues. Well, I didn't know there was an HOA. What is this all about? And so these folks who were on a fixed income or didn't have much to work with as far as funds got a hold of their legislators. And the legislators said, wait a minute, we've got, we're a retirement state. We cannot have an elderly constituency complaining about something on a consistent, we've got to protect them. So what they did was they passed this statute. And once again, 7 or 8 years ago, 50% of the people I would talk to would know about this. I have, in the last 3 months, talked to maybe 40 or 50 people, and about 2 of them realized that if you fail to provide that information, second part of it is be able to prove you provided it. So your form has a signature line. So if you have that HOA disclosure form provided with all the information in it, and you have it signed, if you're representing the seller, and you have it signed by the buyer, then you've completed the square. You've done everything that you need to do. Now, if if anybody calls me, I'm representing the buyer, and my buyer, just for some reason, they don't want to close. They're angry at me, they're angry at the world, they don't want to close, they don't want to buy this house. And the first thing that I say, get out of jail free card is, okay, look in your material, your contract package. Did you get an HOA disclosure form? If they say, no, we did not, then I say, bingo. The other side is just in denial every time this happens, but, and I can't say the word denial without sharing with you, my favorite country song title, I've never heard the song itself, but the favorite country song title is Denial is Not Just a River in Egypt. Okay. So, last thing. So everybody understand HOA disclosure, how significant it is? Oh, yes?
Are you saying the addendum, the HOA addendum? You're saying disclosure? Are you?
Right, that's what I'm referring to.
Okay,
Yep.
I just wanted to clarify.
That copies the statute.
Mm-hmm.
The statute says you must provide this information, and if you don't, but the form that you're provided, if you fill in all the blanks, and you have the buyer sign, if you provide that and the buyer doesn't sign, then if they claim we didn't get it, how do you prove that they got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so have it signed.
David, I can't remember that disclosure because I don't have it right here in front of me. Is that only if there is an HOA?
That is true.
Okay, yeah, it's not a yes there is or no there's not.
Right,
It's only
right.
if there is an HOA,
Right.
then you have to disclose that.
Right, the statute says if there is an HOA, then, right, yes. Mhm.
If you're listing a condo or a home in an HOA, posting posting the relevant documents to MLS does not constitute coverage for yourself as a listing agent?
Well, I wouldn't want to, that's a good point, because that's a lot of brokerage, people might rely upon that and say, well, they got it. Well, if the agent claims, and of course, how many of the actual buyers go on?
Right.
So I would say anything short, well, don't fail. Let's double negative. Make sure that you do get the form filled out and signed by them, so there's no issue. All right.
Let's clarify again, HOAs and condos, right? HOA is, West Chase has an HOA, right? But condos are a different matter. HOA has the 3-day right to rescind once they've received or noticed disclosure, right? Once they signed it, they've said, okay, I understand it says an HOA, you're good to go. That's coverage. The condo rider you have filled out, often it is signed, yet there's a section buried in the condo rider that says buyer acknowledges receipt of the big three, right? Most recent financials, budget, and what's the other? Just what's that?
Rules and regs.
Yeah, rules and regs, right? Okay, so those three. Once those are received, you have to have that initialed and signed off on by the buyer inside that condo rider, because until that is initialed and signed off with their acknowledgement that they've received the big three, they have a right to rescind up until the day of closing. Right? They even have 3 days after they initial that to review it and say, hey, look, I'm going to exercise my out. Jim?
Yeah, for that receipt part there, like in the condo rider, there's a section that says that they have received it and it's just checked. There's no initial anymore, but that means if they sign the form, that means they're agreeing to that it's been checked. So now if you don't check that, if you didn't give them the condo docs yet, you can still get them to them, but then now there's a separate form called a condo receipt.
Okay.
So you gotta go get that now, and that they receipt and have them sign off that they got it. So it's a separate form. It's this condo doc receipt.
The easier thing to do is if you are the listing agent, right, is provide the big three with the contract and say, hey, look, now I've checked that box on there. It says the buyer has received because the buyer has received. It'll be right there. All right. If you are a buyer's agent, all right, one option is to say, hey, my buyer's not going to sign your condo rider at all until you provide me with this, the big three.
Exactly.
All right, you've got to get me the big three because it's, it's not there. The downside of that would be an attorney might look at it and say, do you have then the right to rescind if you haven't signed the condo rider? So let me go here and I'll be right back to you.
I think you just answered my question, but I was under the impression you always have it signed at the time they sign the contract. How is there any gray area here as to it not getting done?
Correct. I guess you could have the condo rider signed, right, at the time of contract, but if I'm the buyer's agent and my buyer has not received the big three, I'm not allowing that box to be checked saying the big three has been received.
But I mean, regarding the HOA one that we started talking about, it should just be signed.
Yeah, it's an automatic, but to David's attorney mind, and he sees the problems at the end, it's obviously not being signed at all situations. We at Future Home Realty don't have an issue here because you guys are excellent. All right? All right, and you want to keep your broker out of jail, so it's all good stuff.
Well, and because of that, if there's a required HOA, you have to have the HOA disclosure, and you're not going to get paid unless you have it. So that's why you guys have it, because you're not getting any money.
Right. Exactly.
So,
That's right. Because we're not going to release your money,
you don't
right?
get, your money's not released because it's on the checklist. So.
Yeah, Jenny.
Problem solved.
Is there a disadvantage to the listing agent to just put those in the MLS?
No.
That way, before even we go on
Right.
contract, everyone's on the same.
Put them on attachments. There's absolutely no reason not to, so on and so forth.
Just a quick note about that.
Yes.
They have a disclosure on the MLS that date is not guaranteed, so
Correct.
That's not a get out of jail free.
It's not. You still have to have it initialed and signed off on, but you
It's
say,
but you're just providing it, then they have to sign it and get it back to you.
Right. Right.
David, real quick. Condo docs, HOA docs. Condo docs are required, but HOA are not. The disclosures are, but not the actual docs.
Got it.
Big.
All right,
So
covenant.
Is that, am I correct on that?
You're correct.
Okay.
Covenants and restrictions, right,
Thank
right.
Say that one more time. Oh, you're on.
The actual docs, like the full 500-page packet docs.
Covenants and
That's all good.
restrictions, right.
On condos, it is required to provide that to the buyer. On HOAs, it is not. You do have to provide the disclosure that there is an HOA and what the fees are, but you do not have to provide them with the most current docs that they have that has the minutes and all that. That can be up to them to go get it if you don't want to provide it. But I tell everyone in the class, I say, hey, I would just get it because I don't want to argue later.
Right.
Get it and give it to them, and then you don't have to have an argument later.
Isn't there a line in the contract that says, it advises the buyer not to sign unless they have?
That's the rider, or the HOA disclosure.
Right.
No, the contract itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's on the contract, but
Yeah.
it says you should not execute this contract without receiving the HOA disclosure, which is not the docs, it's the disclosure. Well, but that does, it says it should not, but you can, but here's what happens. If you provide it up front with the contract, with the counter offer, say you get an offer in, and then you provide it back to them, before you execute it, there's no 3-day, right, rescission. There's only the 3-day if you execute a contract, then give them the HOA rider after, or HOA disclosure after you execute it. It says it right clearly at the top of that form, so make sure you read that. So if you give it to them before you execute, you're fine.
Right.
There's no 3-day open.
Correct, 'cause
But
they-
you gotta, usually have an access contract, you have 15 days anyway, so it's whatever.
Right. Okay, we got to wrap this up quickly, so we got here, quite fast, and then we'll come back to Murphy.
Okay, I have two questions. One is, sometimes those numbers are incorrect, so you need to find out what's the numbers, and I have to call them and get them
Sure.
signed again.
Right.
And another issue, sometimes there are two HOA, they put in one.
Right.
What will happen in that case?
Right.
Well, the statute does not specifically address, if you have two and only one's disclosed, but if I'm representing the buyer and the buyer wants to cancel, then I would say, aha, here is a huge opportunity. And the last thing, representing the seller, the last thing you want to do is provide an opportunity. And so you'd want to research that thoroughly and make sure that you have both, and make absolutely certain that you have the master and you have both of them. Because if the seller finds out that maybe they don't have an enforceable contract because the buyer says you didn't give me that information for the second association, then the first thing the seller is going to do is look at the agent, the seller's agent, and say, why did you create this issue? So the moral of the story is, research the issue of how many associations and just be absolutely certain before the seller's agent provide that information. All right?
Let's go here.
More or less, it was the same question.
Yeah.
Like, there's some subdivisions.
Yeah, there are
that have
multiple.
a condo,
Right.
and the condo has its own rules, and then you have the HOA rule.
Mhm.
So if you don't provide the HOA, then you're
Along
in
with the
trouble.
condo, yep. 'Cause
If it's within, let's say, West Chase, there's a
Yeah.
condo within West Chase.
Correct.
Which they are.
Right,
but
there's also
the
HOA.
West Chase HOA, so you have
Right.
to provide them both.
Right,
If you don't, even though it's a condo, you're in violation,
right.
right?
Exactly.
And you can get out of the
Yeah,
contract.
there would be an potential out of the contract. Yeah, that's right. Last one.
But the condo rider, like for example, if I'm in this condominium.
Yep.
And then they usually have an HOA. So the condo rider already covers that HOA disclosure. You don't have to give both, right?
Well, the argument is that if the HOA is required if you're required to join the HOA, a lot of times you're part of the condominium, but it's an optional HOA for the condo people. If it's optional, then that doesn't have to be disclosed. You can tell them if you'd like to, but you don't have to worry about the disclosure. If it's required where they have to join it and pay money, then yes, both have to be done. But you're always gonna have, a condo's a condo, it says right in the tax thing, so you know you gotta do the condo stuff. But the HOA is sometimes optional, so you gotta find that out.
Right. In a worst case scenario, disclose an HOA. And we did it, now, it's zero. Okay, great, it's an optional HOA, but at least we've disclosed. And you have that in. Better, I know you guys require so many documents. Yeah, well, it's not us. It's these F.S things. All right, Florida statutes, all right, that require us, all right, that things like these guys know that we have to protect ourselves, all right, and protect our clients. I said last one, but now I have Raphael. How do I say no to Raphael? All right.
I don't know. If it's optional.
Yep.
But there is a pool.
Yep.
In order to be able to use the pool, you have to become a member.
That's still optional.
Yeah.
It's still optional.
It's like joining the Y down on the corner.
Right.
You have the option to join Y, it's fine.
I guess what the buyer may think, hey, I'm buying in this condo, there's a pool in there that belongs to this condo, I'm eligible to get.
Well, that's the buyer's agent's fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. You got to find out the information, right? If you have those situations, that's why knowing your market is critical, right? And by the way, we all took our ethics class, right? Yes. Yes. Okay, good. All right. I was reminded again in part of the section I chose to take was reminded of we have an ethical obligation to know what we're doing. All right? It's written straight in there that if we say, you know what? Let me try. Sure. I could sell that $1.8 million condo-tel thingy. I bet you I could figure that out, right? And I'm going to make 54 grand. We have an ethical obligation to know what we're doing, all right, to represent clients for a fee. Period. If you don't know it, we covered it today in 100K. There was one out there. Hey, I'm thinking about doing a commercial deal. Does anybody know how to do a contract and how do I get paid? I jumped on there right away. Okay, 6 a.m. Stop now. Step away from the computer, right? Because one of my agents, right, said, you go get help, right? Refer this out to somebody who knows. We have an ethical obligation to know what we're doing, right? And so educate yourself and be knowledgeable in our industry. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. Right? Are you with me? Yes. Okay. Jim, everybody nodding heads. Everybody panning the room. We have that visual evidence. All right. Everybody understands that that's what we're going to do. We owe that to our clients, right? We owe a level of professionalism. That's what the whole ethics thing is trying to get across to us, by the way. Play nice with each other, but be knowledgeable with your clients. You owe it to them. Fair enough? All right? We could have David up here forever, but we got to keep rolling. Come to the contract. This is the kind of stuff that dials back and forth a lot. Ideas. Join our social media pages. That's the kind of stuff that gets debated back and forth a lot, right? Spend your time. If you're going to be on Facebook wasting your time, at least educate yourself while you're on Facebook. All right? All right, cool. By the way, David also owns American Patriot Title.
I do.
All right?
Not just an ugly rumor.
Not just an ugly rumor.
Right.
Attorney-owned title companies. You know, I'm a huge fan of attorney-owned title companies. I'm a really big fan, all right? Because in a pinch, it helps if you need some extra assistance getting in things or things that are happening.
And we're located at Fletcher and Dale Mabry.
Perfect. So they're kind of opposite sides of town. Okay, we got Pinellas Help, we got the Northdale, Carrollwood area and all that. Lutz. Where?
That's right.
What else?
That's right.
Lutz.
Lutz.
All right, perfect.
Lutz.
Good
All right.
deal. Awesome. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Good deal. All right, Jenny, come on up. All right. This is all good stuff. So you guys thought you were coming to just a regular office meeting. Here we're going to talk about statistics, hand out the same flipping award to the same agents who made the same. All right? That's not what we do here. We educate. All right? Because I don't look good in orange. That's why we educate. All right. Good deal. All right, so we're going to flip computers. All right. So there's an HDMI. I'll let you introduce yourself and everything you got going on. Or oh, you know what? That's going to do that. Somebody's here. I'll work on this. Wait.
Okay. Sometimes it's like something over there.
It's settings here.
Okay, so while Bob helps me get set up, hi, I am Jenny Restrepo, and I am with Become a Better Agent. So that is a free seminar. Our main sponsor is Insured Title Agency, which is located right next to your West Chase office. But Become a Better Agent is all about, like Bob said, it's about educating and giving back. So we want to, again, share knowledge, share information with you to help you become even better at what you do. And so today I'm going to talk to you about HomeSnap. So is anyone using HomeSnap, tried HomeSnap?
This is really cool. If you haven't paid attention, this is good
Okay.
stuff. I was excited to have you come and do this. So thank you for doing it.
Wonderful. Okay, cool. All right, so
Oh, you know what? Let me do this. Because this is not projecting your voice, but it's recording for future
let me see.
reference.
I got all kinds of stuff in my hands.
Yeah, we'll let you do that.
Okay.
I learned way back in high school, corsage, wrist corsage was way better. All right?
Okay.
Get yourself in trouble as a 17-year-old.
Let the mom help. Okay, now I look official. So, okay, before I get into HomeSnap, Become a Better Agent, Baba, we're on our 30th one, and it's this Thursday. So if you're able to make it, we are at Armature Works. Who's been there? It's a really cool spot. I know.
If you've been to Armature, if you're hip, you hang out at Seminole Heights.
I live in Seminole Heights, and I drive all the way over here to West Chase, so y'all can head that way. It's just yay east. But it's going to be a great seminar. It is free. It is for all real estate professionals and partners. And this time, I'm going to give a more extended class on HomeSnap, but we're also going to be talking about property pre-qual, how to use home renovation loans to overcome low inventory situations, and how to really take your Facebook marketing, video marketing, and podcasting to the next level to increase influence and broaden your scope and reach. So, without further ado, please go to our website, which I'll show at the end, babaevent.com. Get registered. Like I said, it's free. Plus, we get to hang out again. And it's going to be a great seminar. So HomeSnap, what you see is my screen. And I know Bob likes these quotes, so not all those who wander are lost. Love it. I'm all about that. I really like that statement because you're always on a journey. There's no destination in life, right? We're always working on something. So you can see my screen. If you don't have HomeSnap yet, it's free in your app store. What I love about HomeSnap is it is included in your MLS dues. And it's the app that has been fully endorsed by MLS, which is why it is completely integrated with everything. It's up-to-date MLS information as far as whether it's active or pending. And there's so many great features in there that kind of take it up a notch. So I want to focus on just showing you a few cool things. I have a sign-up sheet, so if you can, sign in for me, and that way HomeSnap can send you some additional information. But if you have never even used it, but you really want to have maybe more of like a one-on-one training, put a star next to your name, and then that way I can reach out to you, because I'm not going to get into how to set up your account just because I don't have a ton of time. So I'm going to show you the high-level features, and then if you're like, yes, I need this, we'll do a little bit of one-on-one. Okay, so HomeSnap free in your app store, whether you're on iPhone or Android. Download it, and you'll have your little icon on your screen. Tap the HomeSnap app. Once it comes up, now I'm already logged in. The first thing, so if you've never used it, the first thing it's going to ask you is, are you a real estate professional? So you want to sign in as you using your MLS ID information so that it knows that you are a pro. Once you're signed in as a pro, you're going to see me. It says me at the bottom of your screen all the way to the right, but me will be you. And you can customize your picture and background, and then this is all of your information. So now you're signed in as a pro, and you have specific pro features when you're interacting with your app. You can share your HomeSnap app with your clients, and that's what I advise you to do. So if you're meeting with somebody, or you're at a networking event, or you're at the grocery store, and you're like, oh, you're looking for a house? Here, let me share my app with you. Don't have them go to the store and download it. Share your app with that person, because then when they're interacting in HomeSnap, it's going to be branded and connected to you. Because you can actually communicate. They can see something, favorite it, you get a message, you can see it, you can go to showing time, schedule the showing. So everything is integrated. You don't have to use the MLS app, then the showing time app, and then the Zillow or this or no. Everything is all in one, which is why I love this app. So here you're going to see invite with a person and a plus sign, and right that top option, share your profile link. Hit share, and then it's going to give you a link, and you can text that to someone. You can put it in a Facebook post. You can put it in an Instagram post. You can put it in an email. Wherever you want to put it, you're able to share that. And that's what you want to do if you're going to do a one-on-one share. Now you see there is an option to select all. Wake up. Don't do that. And here's why. That's pulling from every telephone contact that you have saved in your phone. So your babysitter, your ex, whoever, number that you have stored in your phone, if you do it via your phone and hit select all, you're going to ask them to be on your HomeSnap app, which may be weird in certain situations. So Instead of doing that, if you're first-time users of HomeSnap and you want to go ahead and put everybody who's in your CRM with your HomeSnap app, go to the desktop version. So just like on the app, you see me up there in the top right corner. If you click that, you can import your entire CRM into your HomeSnap. Jim.
Real quick, take me out of your CRM before.
Because everybody's in there.
I'm getting everybody's HomeSnap there.
Okay. Take Jim. Please take Jim and Bob out. Okay, so that's a good scrub your list. Another cool thing is if you're on LinkedIn, you can export every contact that you have in LinkedIn. Every one of those contacts has an email address. You can then import that email address into your HomeSnap. Now they can unsubscribe, cool, but that's a way for you to also continue to connect with people that you are connected with. So that's another option. But the desktop version of HomeSnap is a lot of the same features as your app, but slightly more robust. Okay, so back to in your app. I want to show you a couple of my favorite features. Okay, so I'm tapping Homes, which is the center button. It looks like a little pin drop. Right there you see what looks to be sort of like a Google map. It is. Tap the map. And you can, if you have this, follow along, but if you don't, like, this is exactly what it looks like on my phone is what you can see up there. All those little green drops are houses that are listed for sale near where we're standing, okay? If you tap on one of those, you'll see, okay, this property is Pony Court, which is listed for $700,000. I want more information about that. You tap the picture. That's gonna bring up the house. It's gonna bring up all of the interior photos. And in your Pro view, it's gonna bring up a lot of additional features. For example, so here you see 36. Those are all the interior photos. If you continue to scroll up, you're going to see send a rapid CMA, schedule with showing time. So if your client sent this to you and said, oh my God, I love this house, I have to see it, you can go right here to that button, schedule with showing time. You can see the price history. This is a really good, so Bob was talking about like, know your stats, know your competition, know your business. Here, the related agent, this Junior Rivero with Future Home Realty.
Hey, look at that, see?
I didn't even plan that. That's the listing agent, okay? Tap the related agents. It's gonna pull up Junior Rivero. You can message, you can favorite, there's the phone number, there's the email, you see the office. How am I connected? If you've ever done a deal with Junior Rivero, you can click that and it will know because this is populated by MLS data. So listing agent, buy agent goes in MLS once your property is in sold status. That's where it's pulling from.
Let me ask you this, Jenny, with that in mind. So if my client has this app and they click on the map and click on this, are they going to see all of?
No. Your client will have the consumer version. What I'm showing you right now are version.
Because we don't
Correct.
want to, hey, look,
No,
go
no.
talk to these agents, right? Talk to
Right.
me, and I'll get a hold of the agent.
So Bob makes a very good point. This is why you want to share your HomeSnap app with your customer, because the only agent that that customer is going to see associated with any property is you. So they're going to see, and I'll kind of point out, you can kind of see as you scroll through, it'll say Pro. If it says Pro above that section, that means you see that, your client does not. But what your client can do, this is the number one most amazing, best thing about it, what your client can do is what I'll tell you next. This is a pro tip for you guys. Know who you're working with. Oh, here's his deal flow. I'm assuming Junior is a guy. Here is your deal flow. This person in the last 24 months had 10 listing sides and 4 buyer sides. So a pretty seasoned listing agent with the average list price of $339. The pie tells you detached, lots, commercial. You can analyze the listing sides. So I'm a buyer's agent, I want to make an offer on this. Does he usually kind of pad the list price? What's the situation with that? Analyze the listing side. 1 for sale, 2 sold, 7 off the market. It's basically all the data about this other agent. So say typically their sales prices are about 10% below list price. Okay, so they like to pad it a little bit. And so when I'm making that offer, maybe I'm not going to make a full price offer because There might be a little bit of wiggle room in there for my buyer. So this gives you a lot of insight into who you are dealing with.
Which also means other people are doing that about you.
True story. Okay. If you master one thing and you use this with your customers, this is the number one thing that is easy. I showed my 4-year-old daughter how to do it, and she figured it out. She's also a whiz at the iPad. But 2, this is going to save you that super awkward conversation when you're in the car and your customer says, oh, hey, Dawn, yeah, I'm in front of this house. Can you tell me about it? And you're like, cool, sure. Where exactly are you? Oh, I don't know. We're in Dunedin. Awesome. Okay, do you happen to know what street you're on? Well, it's a greenhouse. Okay, so greenhouse in Dunedin, and you love it. Good to know. How many times has a buyer called you because no matter how amazing you are, they love to just drive around? I don't get that. But they love to drive around, look at signs, and maybe they're approved for $250 and they're in a neighborhood where all the houses are $500,000. You know, that's a fun conversation to have. You tell them, you know what? I'm in the car. I want to make sure to give you all the information, but right now. Okay, see the camera in the top corner. Tap the camera. Frame your shot. Now, imagine that you're standing in front of a house.
Greenhouse in Dunedin.
A greenhouse in Dunedin on some random street that we don't know what it's called. You just, that blue button, tap the blue button. Now, right now, it's not going to probably pull up something, or it might pull up Aston Gardens. Even if it's... So, okay, look, see, there's a townhouse here in Aston Gardens. It's using GPS. So the camera function is because that's a user-friendly, easy-to-understand interface for people, but it's honestly using your GPS coordinates and associating your exact location with what's on the market in that area. So if you, and then let's say you're there and you're standing in front of this pony court, this is what it's going to pull up. So now you can tell your client, oh, did it pull up for you? And they'll say, oh, yeah. And listen, they can put you on speakerphone and do this in real time, have both the apps going at the same time. Then you can say, okay, well, take a look at the inside photos because I know that you're only looking for something with such and such on the, only fireplaces or whatever. Take a look. You could still be driving. And they can look at the interior pictures and they go, oh, no, hate it. Cool. Now you just saved yourself time from having to like pull over, pull it up, figure it out, track down where they're at because they have no idea. If they love it, they can basically go, favorited it, or send in message with those stars of favorite or those little 3 connect to the dots things. Share it. They can text it to you. They can post it on their own Facebook page. Look at my future house. So that is the number one. If my 4-year-old, well, maybe, she's kind of advanced, I wouldn't like to say, but
If you don't mind saying so.
if I don't mind saying so myself. But if you can use your telephone, this device, your mobile device, to take a photo, you can do that. And if that's the only thing that you ever show your client how to do with it, you're good. That's probably the easiest and best function for them. And I've done other trainings where I've had agents say, yeah, but oh my gosh, I don't know. Make it part of your buyer consultation when you start working with that person. So you get a Zillow lead, you've never met this person, you meet them at the property. However that goes, that's your one free slice of pizza. You're now going to say, okay, well, let's have a further conversation. Let's swing over to Starbucks. And what are you going to talk to them about? Are you pre-approved? Let's have that conversation. While you start searching, what are you looking for? Here, I'm going to share something with you that's going to make it easy for both of us. And sit down with your client and show them. Put it on their phone. Make sure that they have yours. Let them tap it while they're sitting there with you and show them how to work it. It gives you that I'm teaching you, you establish a connection, you're providing them with a service, but you're also keeping them connected and integrated to you and saving yourselves, both of you, time and effort. Yes?
If you're meeting in your buyer's consultation with
Yeah.
a potential client, someone that you met and they want to work with you and you want to show them this, but they had stopped at some open house and some other agent added them to their home staff, can you replace? I don't think so.
I can find out that answer for you and just send it out to the group. Just make sure everybody signs in so I have all your contact information. I think that if they already have HomeSnap on their phone, they could essentially like delete it and start all over again. You know, clear that off and say, yeah, that agent was cool, but I met them that one time and haven't heard from them since. I like better. And you can be like, cool, let me hook you up right now. Not that we're ever discouraging people from working with our colleagues.
My goal, I gotta save people from bad agents all day long,
Yeah,
right?
be like, they had their chance. Okay, wait, I think there's a question over
I
here.
looked up the instructions to that, if you want me to tell you.
Okay, sure, go.
Yeah, there's, on the top right, there's a an icon that says me, they click on that, they go to the My Friends, they tap on agent, they tap on my agent, and they click remove. So you can show them in the app how to do it.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. Got that? So me is where you were back here in the, right here.
And I would probably do a test run for that.
Yeah. So as a colleague on your team that you work with or partner with, someone at home, a friend, like test it, you know, do a trial run between the two of you and say,
Jim
oh.
can do it because you all added him with my.
Jim's already on Jim's a friend on everybody's HomeSnap. Was there a question over here about something? No?
No, I wanted to say delete and with a link, but you know, the lady over
Yes.
there gave us the explanation.
Okay, yeah, perfect. And listen, if these agents aren't, if they're not amazing like you guys, they're probably not even using HomeSnap yet, so you may not have to overwrite someone necessarily, but it is good to know that you can do that. Home office.
I just want to point to that the data about the agent is only pull the information from the MLS that you belong to. I didn't send it from somebody else. It doesn't show anywhere. So everything they've been doing, like Spring Hill, doesn't show over here because I'm not affiliated to that one.
Right, because you're my Florida and their name. Yeah, it's limited to the MLS board that you are a member
So,
of, which makes sense.
Right, so, but also like if I list something in Spring Hill, it's still gonna be data via GTAR because I am a member of GTAR.
Yeah,
So,
she do a buyer agent.
Oh, yeah.
They put it by themselves, but they sell it themselves because you know in the MLS.
right. I would venture to, it's gonna be close enough to give you that additional sort of information. And hey, if it doesn't seem to fit, you can always say to the other agent, oh, how long have you been doing this? Oh, yeah, that's so cool. Where else do you do a lot in this area? That be conversational. I mean, you're just kind of finding out information. So
this is free with all your stuff.
Yes.
Right? This is what Keller Williams agents were paying an extra $85 a month for our e-edge. We got an app. Well, guess what? So do we. Right? Because we paid our board dues, and here we are. I mean, this always happens, all right? Yeah, you know, they might have had the app for an extra 6 months, but you know what I mean? And while you're writing the checks to the board, all right, and you begrudgingly do that, I understand. But if you took advantage of everything our local boards do, you'd be amazed. You'd say, you know what, I'd pay 3 times that. If you took advantage of the classes, the apps, all the stuff like this that they provide, all right?
So,
it's amazing.
HomeSnap was an app that existed, but it became fully vested by National Association of Realtors as the answer to some of these other apps that our clients are using where they're getting cross-marketed to by all of these different agents and where there's a lag time in having correct data or where it's providing a lot of what I like to call noise. If it's not actively listed for sale and it's some other random category of this, in my opinion, that's just taking up your time. So this app is everything, and like Bob said, you're already paying for it. So you might as well take advantage of it. Hold on, John, there's one question behind you.
Okay, I just wanted to state that tonight at GTARS, they are actually having a class on the HomeSnap.
As well, that's Tom Scaglione, they run that tech user group the second Tuesday of every month at GTAR. I mean, and by the way, Tom's not here because they're having their annual meeting at GTAR today, so that's why he's not here. But thank you, because the more you can get educated on this stuff, the better. So
yeah, and like I said, I'm happy to do like a one-on-one additional information with you if you'd like. HomeSnap. So I don't work for HomeSnap, but they have regionally certified trainers, and so I've joined that team. So I am working directly with HomeSnap and have become certified by them as a trainer of HomeSnap. So I know I don't have a ton more time, but there's 2 more features really quick that I want to show you. And then if you have additional questions, I'll stay after the meeting is over. Okay, so this is a new feature that they added, which I think is so amazing. Okay, see on the little icons over here to the right, it looks like a car with a clock over top of it. This is the search by commute function. So I don't know any other way any other app that does this. So right here we have, that's essentially it's the insured title agency address, but also the Future Home Realty office address at the top. And that says, okay, here's my address, and I want to live within a 45-minute commute of that address. And then that second address, that's in downtown St. Petersburg. That's actually Denman and Perlman, my attorney's office. So I'm like, let me pick 2 places kind of far. But so you have downtown St. Pete, West Chase, and each, I want to commute 45 minutes. I don't want to be more than a 45-minute commute from either one of these addresses. And you can put in as many addresses as you want. So if your client, say they have kids in 2 different schools and someone else has an office or the gym or whatever place your church, like whatever place that is an important place to that customer, put them in there, all of them, and put your times. Then right at the top, hit search.
Jenny, how do we get that menu bar on our phone? I can't find it. The one that you show on the right.
Yeah. Oh, tap homes in the center that looks like that teardrop. Tap the map that looks like the Google map. And once the map fills your screen, you should have the icons along the right. Yeah? Yes? Oh, wake up, you. So now you can see the line right here, all the way around, and then those circles?
That's that 45-minute commute.
That's your 45-minute commute from both of those addresses. Those are all of the green dots. All of those houses are actively listed for sale in there. And then you can drill it down to adding more features and layers to that, like as far as price point and things like that. But each one of those circles, as you zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, will then become drops that you can click on. So you have to get a little bit closer, and then you can see them.
Very cool.
Okay? The only other thing that I think is really, and then you can remove the commute if you just want to start all over again. Zoom out. That middle button that looks like sort of the bullseye, tap that. That takes us back to our blue spot is our current location. So a lot of these features look very similar to what you're used to working with Google Maps. So the blue dot's where we are at. Schools. Schools are another very important thing to some customers. Well, if you know, when you're putting a listing into MLS, entering what school is appropriate for that listing is optional. So when you are buyer's agent searching for a property in West Chase Elementary specific school district, if the listing agent hasn't put that into MLS, that property will be excluded. And that may be the one. What HomeSnap allows you to do is type in that school, and same as the commute box, it draws a map around and says, everything in this box goes to this school. And that's populated by the school data, not by the MLS data. So even if...
So wait. So if you choose the school...
Right.
It syncs up with the school district zoning map?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so even if the listing agent omitted that information, like say it's an REO and they chose not to put it in there, I don't know why it's considered optional. Oh, that was Brandon calling from HomeSnap.
He knows.
He knows.
They know it all?
Yes.
So does Alexa.
Alexa knows. I love Alexa.
Yeah.
She does everything.
Ordering its own snacks. They had it
Oh,
set
no.
up Alexa because his parrot was ordering all sorts. Alexa, give me crackers.
Okay, here's my personal tip if you have young kids or grandkids. They listen to Alexa. Alexa, set the timer for 10 minutes. Timer's up. Okay, it's time to go to bed. And she's like, all right, let's go. True story. Sorry, that's an aside. But yes, okay, I know I'm running out of time, but if you want to have more on HomeSnap, come to Baba on Thursday. Seats are filling up. We've got a lot. It starts at 8:30 with our partner fair and breakfast, and it goes till 1. So you don't have to stay the whole time. Of course, we'd love you to be there, but if you can only make it to some of it, we've got great topics, and if you go to babaevent.com, it'll give you all the information about what's going on. You can register right from our page. Right there, ArmatureWorks. And we do them quarterly, plus we have mini events. So the upcoming events tab on our babaevent.com website always has what we're doing and what's going on. We are definitely focused on giving you guys more Butterfree so you can put it on our bread. But I personally believe in HomeSnap, which is why when they asked if anyone in the community wanted to be a trainer of HomeSnap, I was like, yeah, because it's awesome. Imagine you're working with another agent whose client is also using HomeSnap. Everybody is like fully integrated. We're all saving time. We're all on the same page. Any other questions real quick before? And like I said, I'll stay, yes, I'll stay after, yeah.
Perfect.
Good.
If you get a chance, go to Baba on Thursday. That's
Yes,
this
please.
Thursday, right?
This Thursday
get
starts at
even
8:30, ArmatureWorks, and we will be serving breakfast, hot breakfast.
Hot breakfast.
Hot
not just
breakfast.
You know. By the way, I just had a couple of these tangerines. You know what? You better. Why there's not a fight at the tangerines, but there is a fight at the donut box? I don't know. Right? I'm just telling you, my hands smell good. It's just there's added benefits you never get. So, Jenny, give her a hand. That was awesome. I didn't know that. So very nice. And a curtsy about.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
perfect. Good deal. All right, don't get to unplug before you go. Perfect. My last question.
Yeah.
Can you email me what app you're using to share your phone to your computer?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
called A Power Mirror.
Yeah.
And the only trick is that you have to be on the same, like my phone and my computer are on the same Wi-Fi network.
Got it.
And then yeah, anything that you're doing on your phone, you can cast to your laptop.
That's kind of cool. I didn't have that.
A Power Mirror, all one word.
A Power Mirror. All right, we're running late. John, come on up.
Yes.
All right, so if you guys haven't been to an office meeting, John has never been to an office meeting, have you?
This is actually my first.
See, okay. I had to have him be the speaker to get him here, all right? It's funny, I talked to him yesterday and he said, Bob, I gotta admit, I've never been to an office. I said, that's okay. I'm just, you know what I mean? A lot of times, it's hard to get it when you're out producing, right? And that's why we always bring one of our cappers in order to get to sit on our fancy interview area, all right? You have to have capped with us and had some production. So John is that. So come on, sit down and we'll just share the spot. Which side's your better side? You can sit whichever one you want.
It doesn't matter.
All right. There is no bad side to John Brown. See? There we go. All right. So and it's funny because Elisa can attest to this, whoever others that have spoken. It's like, I don't know, why would they want to hear from me, right? It's kind of, you know what? The key is you're doing something right? You're getting things done. And agents crave hearing from other agents. We learned this a long time ago, right? Who would you rather hear from but somebody that's in the trenches with you right now, right? Getting it done. So tell us a little bit about your backstory. Born and raised, and then what you've been doing up until full-time just recently.
Very good, okay. Yeah, I'm John, and of course I was born and raised here in Florida. I went to school locally here for the most part, and then ended up graduating in St. Petersburg. I left for the military, was gone for about 8 years, and I returned home and got involved in law enforcement. Spent 25 years on the force, and then in 2007 is when I got my real estate license. And a friend of mine who was actually an agent here suggested, you want to go work for Bob? And I'm like, okay. You know how once you get your license, everyone's trying to recruit you or trying to get you to come in.
Get all sorts of postcards. You ever want to feel wanted? Sign up for your real estate license. All right, you'll get postcards. Oh, they love me. They love me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Keller Williams was one of the top prospects
That's
there.
right.
As a matter of fact,
They had an
So
app.
I always find it funny whenever you mention them. So anyway, I ended up coming here in 2007, 2008, I think it is, and I've been here ever since. And can't see myself going anywhere else. I really enjoy working for Future Home because I believe that the basics and the actual thought process and being a realtor and being a professional this is like home.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love
He's
it.
a good dude, by the way. And tell us, so personally, I know a little bit about John because Facebook tells me a lot. Avid motorcycle rider, loves to go up to the mountains up in North Carolina, Georgia, those kind of places. So you'll see pictures of John, with his biker's gear on, and in some of the most beautiful spots you'll see. So if you get a chance to follow John, do that. So doing it kind of part-time for a while you were
Right.
still, at the police force, and then just recently retired.
Retired in June
Yep.
of last year. My son kept asking me, when are you going to retire? I am a single father. My son actually, he lost his mom a few years ago to cancer. So it's been tough,
Yeah.
but I knew I wanted to do something afterwards that was going to allow me to spend more time, with family, give you more leeway, more space. Not exactly doing the 9 to 5 thing anymore. So this is where I'm dedicating my full time to now, is doing the real estate.
Awesome. So as soon as you started going full-time, next thing I know, I get a notice that you capped.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, incredible that you jumped in. So here's what I know the agents like to know, and then we like to open up the floor for you guys to have questions. What do you do? What's your business? How are you generating your business? I mean, how many mostly buyers, mostly listings?
Right.
What's that?
From the beginning, it's always been mostly buyers, but I open it up to anything. I know that most people say that you want to become a listing agent. You want to, list the house sells itself, whatnot. The more listings you get, the more clients you can get, because you can get buyers out of that. But I actually went the opposite. I had more buyers, and more specifically, first-time home buyers. And that's where I actually started getting most of my business. But it was through referrals. It was, to me, it's always been how you talk to someone, how you engage them in conversation and let them know what it is you do, what you're looking to do, and how you can help them with their decision making. And most of my clients are still first-time home buyers, but there have been sales in there as well, because some of my clients end up selling, they end up moving and relocating. So I haven't come up with a perfect method or anything like that. I'm sure everyone in there has their style and what works for them. But for me, it's really about the relationship. I believe that the relationship, it's, and I say this all the time, it's if you treat people right and you take care of them and make them feel like they're your only customer or your only client, they'll be loyal to you and they won't go anywhere else. And then they will tell someone about you, and the referrals just keep coming. I did try some other things too. I was looking at, as far as lead-wise, you get clients through there. But even if you get a client or a customer through any type of lead, I found that if you're not persistent, so to speak, because guarantee you, if you're looking at a client or a customer that's coming through a lead of any type, there's another realtor that's trying to get them.
Sure.
They're trying to steal your business, or they're trying to obtain business for themselves. Nothing wrong with that. It's all fair play,
Right.
But it's all about how you take care of them and give them what they need. One of the biggest complaints that I got from people who came to me, whether they were referred to me or whatever, they would tell me that the realtor that they were using before was either unavailable a lot, or they didn't communicate well with them. Or the one thing is when they would tell them what they're looking for, they'd put them in a whole different category. If their cap is $220,000, I try not to go above that. I know we can go a little bit above that, kind of just give them an idea of what's out there, depending on where they're looking to stay.
Sure.
But if you would just follow what they're looking for the most part, and I know there are some people that are a little unreasonable. They want a 200.
Well, then that's what you say, hey, look, you might want to find another realtor.
Yeah, that'll change your parameters a little bit. But that was pretty much it, and that's what I'm going to continue to do and see how it works for me here in the future.
Those of you who've been to 100K, right, you know that we teach what I call backward, right? Because every other training says list if you're going to last. We go opposite. We say, you know what? Especially brand newer agents or newer into the business, you want a lot of listings, go work with buyers. What? Yeah. Okay, everybody else teaches your listings lead you to your buyers. We say our buyers are going to lead us to our listings, right? And they're the listings that are handed to you because you've already earned the right, because you've shown your worth to them, and now they just go and hand you the listing, as opposed to what we call dancing for your dinner, right? Where you I got to have my best listing presentation because I'm one of 5 going in. Well, if you're one of 5 going in and you've been in the business for about 3 minutes, you lose. Period. All right? The person who's been in for 30 years is going to slam you. All right? Boy, that's motivating, Bob. I can't wait to go to my next. I'm just telling you, why not go to a listing presentation? Because you've already sold the niece, right? A $72,000 condo as a first-time home buyer, and now the Aunt Gertie wants to give you a $480,000 listing because you took care of the niece.
I had a customer in 2008, and she happened to be my very first sale with Future Home. She came to me, and the thing I like to do is I like to try to keep in touch with my customers the best that I can. I know you can't always keep in touch with all of them unless you have a great database, and because I was only doing it part-time, it made it a little bit more challenging. But she came to me last year and asked me to help her daughter find a home. I mean, after all these years, I know we speak every now and then, wish her a happy birthday or something like that, which is something that I know that I got from you because you do that a lot. And for her to ask me to do that was like, it was amazing, you know, and we did help her daughter find a home, by the way.
That's awesome. See, it's really, again, we can mic drop all over the place, all right? But looking for the next new pill or the magic thing that's going to be, you know, here's what I heard him say, what I heard John say. Do what you do well, right? Which means communicate, give them what they want, listen to the client, consult them, don't sell them, right? All those kind of things. So do what you do well, and then let other people tell, right? And that's how your business grew, is what I'm hearing you say.
Pretty much, that's exactly how I grew.
Yeah.
And the relationships continue to grow, and I think that I also have to admit that I did read the book, The 7 Levels of Communication.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
That book is amazing. If you haven't read it, I'm going to promote it. I'm going to say that the book is great. It actually, the model in there, how it talks about everything is pretty much some of what I've been doing anyway.
Right.
But it allows me to kind of maybe, you know, craft it or perfect it.
Yeah, right. Gives you some guidelines and hey, maybe there's just some new thoughts to do. Because what he's saying is, because the book teaches and what he already does is stop chasing, start attracting. Right? Nobody wants to chase business because nobody wants to be chased. Right? But if I can attract business, the word I like to, you know what, and sometimes my son reminds me, hey, Dad, you need to be compelling to be around, not repelling. All right? Right? And that's what we want to be, right? We want people compelled to want to do business with us instead of repelled, because I feel like every time they call me, they're asking for a referral. Gee, many Christmas, right? Hey, how's it going? Things going well. By the way, if you're anybody you know looking to buy or sell real estate, I really appreciate it, you know what I mean? Pretty soon, they're like, delete, and the next thing, block phone call, right? You're getting blocked all over the place, right? So that's perfect. Questions of John. Anything else you want to add before I open the floor for them?
No, go right ahead.
All right. Anybody got questions? Okay. Lay something tough on him. What's the most difficult situation you had in a SWAT team scenario?
Oh, no.
That's what I want to know. Forget this real estate stuff. I want to get to the juicy stuff. All right. Jenny.
As a former law enforcement
Yes.
agent, what would you recommend to, I think especially as ladies, if we're meeting a client,
Yeah.
like you're probably used to reading people or reading the situation very quickly, like what would you say would be something that would be like a warning sign, like, you know, maybe I'm not gonna meet this person or go into this house with that, like,
Well,
any advice for us?
number one, the thing I would look at is the time that they want to meet. Because if they want to meet late in the evening, I understand people work. We all have our different jobs. But if they're only wanting to meet you in the evening or in the later hours, after dark even, to me, that's it may not be a tell, but at least I would be concerned. And I would suggest having a friend either with you or accompany you, or have someone close by on speed dial that at least knows where you're going to be. I have a few real estate friends of mine that they do sometimes see clients like that, and they've called me and they've been asking me, John, I don't know, I kind of have a bad feeling about this person. And I will tell them, if you want me to go with you, that's fine, or take someone with you. That way you're feel a little more safe.
There's power in numbers, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it can
Absolutely.
do that.
If you're ever at a site where you're gonna go meet someone in the afternoon, or you're a little unsure, you can call our office. If we have an inspector nearby, we'll meet you there.
Perfect. Because there certainly is power in numbers. You know what I mean? I would think, I don't know the specific statistics, but like at an open house, right? Just the fact having a lender there with you, an insurance person there with you, somebody else who you can tag team to do it, all right, they're going to go choose an easier target. If they have, you know, a nefarious intent, they're going to say, hey, look, I'm going to go to the one that's, you know, I don't have to fight off two. I can just, you know.
It's definitely deterrent.
Yeah.
You know, some people will actually, I know this may sound absolutely ridiculous to some people, but feel free to ask the person for our identification, or even pay attention to what they're driving. You know, most times I like to get to my listings or my showings before the person arrives. And if you get there before, that way you'll see them when they come. and, just try to take down, make a mental note. It's things that we don't think we have to do, but it's kind of like the gentleman was saying earlier about, school shootings. Never thought that I would have to have that conversation with my son. Never. But we've had it.
Yeah. Good question. Good answer. Yes, ma'am.
John,
Yes. Hi.
we all bring something from our other professional life.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always call that. What have you brought in from your professional life into the real estate? Because it could be like a contact sport too.
I would say it has to be the communication skill set and listening, because in my profession, all through life, you have to be able to listen to what your clients or your customers are asking you for, and then be able to communicate it well with them, what they need and what their desires are. Look, there are some times when I'm shaking my head because, like I said, there's people who are asking for the world. And, we know with the market out there's some hot spots. Dunedin, Safety Harbor, Oldsmar, these are big time places where prices are, a little bit more expensive than what you would expect. And you may get a client or a customer that's asking for something that you can't do, you just can't do. So it's kind of, you listen to them, you hear what they're saying, and then sometimes I'll just, gingerly or very gently tell them that, the market for that area is very hot right now and the prices are very high. We may want to look at some other areas that may be more in your price range.
Good question. Great answer. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
How long did you have your life? You said you sold part-time for it?
2007 is when I got my license. I think I actually joined Future Home in 2008.
So you only,
I did it part-time through just referrals and repeat business, as I call it. Referrals and repeat clients.
For about 10 years.
Just this past year, it was actually a half a year in June is when it all started. Thank
It
you.
is
No, I
impressive.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
It really does. I really didn't even know I had done it until Maureen called me, or she either called me or sent me an email and said,
Right.
"Congratulations, John. And I knew I was getting close, but I didn't know when I had done it, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's awesome. I mean, and that's big news because you're doing, when you start to look at numbers, right? If you get to the point where you're capping with us, because you cap based upon numbers of transactions, you're generally, in the top 15%, 10% of realtors across the country, right? So that's a very huge
It is.
banner to wear. So that's
Yeah.
great. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
That's awesome. Any other questions? Yes.
How did you get to meet your buyers? Like you meet one new buyer. Are you basically now all referrals from other people, or do you have other?
No. I had reached out and tried at my hand at Redfin. Redfin was one of those type
Lead generating, right?
generating things, but I say things, but when a client comes across, you have to first get it. You may not get the client. Someone else may be getting it because there's other agents in the same area that's in the market as well. But again, mostly my clients came from someone who, like for instance, as Bob said, I'm a motorcycle enthusiast. So I spent a lot of time down there at the motorcycle shop in Largo. It's actually Clearwater. And one of the guys there mentioned that he was looking to buy a home at one point in time. This was some years ago. Well, I helped him and his family find a home. And from that point on, I've become their realtor, unless there's someone else in here that's realtor down there too. I've been, just getting their referrals. I've done at least 8 deals from that particular business alone. And it's just, to me, it's such a blessing. I thank God every day. As a matter of fact, in the 7 levels, it talks about, writing down your thoughts, what you're thankful for, your affirmations and all that. And then every morning I'll wake up, this is a good thing I'm able to do this now. I'm able to wake up, and then I'll go to the computer and I'll open it up and I'll look at my emails and then I start my calls. I think it refers to it as first and 10 in the book, if I remember correctly.
You do.
But you start calling and, it's I don't know, it's just been working for me. And I don't think I have any magic secret or anything like that. I wish it was a magic wand, because then I'd make it so we all were very prosperous and successful, but it'd have to start with me.
That's right. Exactly. All right. Exactly. That's awesome. Yes.
You were saying Are those calls like calls that you need to make, like for example, you have deals that you need to make, or do you make a point of calling other companies?
Some of them are return calls. Some of them are follow-up calls. Some of them are I'm reaching out to someone who hasn't contacted me back, who hasn't come back to me. That's where I don't know if I mentioned it, but that's the persistency. You know, I think we have to be persistent. I believe that we have to be persistent in this business. Because if you just, you know, the minute you walk away, and I know there's a time and a point where you do have to walk away, but it's knowing when it is. Because I've had some customers that I've called them or reached out via text or email for maybe 2 weeks, and before I finally got a response. And then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry I had a death in the family, or I'm so sorry I've been so busy with work because I work night shifts or something like that. You just never know. I know it's disappointing when you first try to call someone and, you know, and even they may answer the phone and tell you it's not a good time to talk, but you think that maybe it's, you know, is there a better time to speak to you? And then you call then and then they're busy again and it's like, okay, you really don't want to talk to me. But then later on down the road, you find out that they are interested, or, you know, and the other thing is there is a possibility they could have been working with another realtor at the time, and maybe that other realtor just didn't perform well, and they're giving you a shot because now they've heard your name enough because you've been persistent.
Who do you want to work with, right? Okay, and it's true, and put yourself in the client's shoes as well. Is it always a good time to take a call or return a text for you? No, if you're being pursued by whatever, right? Somebody else outside of the real estate business for something you're looking for a new roof on your house, right? And you put calls out, geez, you're not going to return every call immediately and everything else as well, because things happen in people's lives. So
right, definitely. First-time home buyers are the most challenging. You would think they're the most exciting, but they really need a lot of hand-holding, so to speak. If you're not willing to hold their hand, they're gonna have. They may stay with you, they may, but they may not enjoy their experience, and they probably won't tell anyone else about you. I find that the first-time home buyers, if you really take good care of them and, you know, cater to their needs, they will definitely thank you in the end. And it's, to me, it's nothing greater than to see someone get their first house.
yeah, I agree.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We probably got time for one more. Anybody else got something? Let me then just reiterate this, right? And I'll say, because I say it every time we get a chance. What John has just relayed to us is that there's no secret to this business, all right? It's not, because his Redfin leads, for instance, right? A lead unconverted is a name, right? Unless you find a way, and I'm sure you've honed your skill on those, right? Say, what do these people want to hear? What works with majority of them? I need to tweak what I say on that first call, right? And so you maneuver yourself, all right, in a position, because you've got, I mean, we teach how to get you in front of people at open houses, like bank foreclosure open houses and all that stuff, right? But all the people face-to-face in the world, unconverted, are just another face, right? And I could sense this, right? You've got part of conversion, and let me just tell you this, part of conversion is confidence in yourself. That you have what they need, right? Hear me on that. It's a totally different mindset, totally different attitude, right? When you know that you have what they need, you will win. And I know that John presents himself that way with confidence as he does it. Something you want to add, I can tell.
No, I don't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
No.
Yeah.
Just hoping for a great year in 2019 for all of us.
Yeah, he's going to do it. I wanted to bring him in. Give him a hand, first of all, for coming in. I appreciate it, man. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good job. All right, we are about 12 minutes late, so let's wrap. If you have any questions, we'd love to see you at the growth sessions, at the office hours, the trainings we've got coming on. 100K will be 100K systemized is what we're doing. It's going to be a little bit different version. We're going to really get down to brass tacks. Be launching in February. All right, see you guys. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Thanks again, brother. Awesome.